call the meeting to order. I can see that all commissioners are present. The minutes were electronically emailed. Are there any addition or corrections to the minutes? If not, I guess I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. I want to introduce Mr. Mike Haynes and thank him for filling in for Mr. Coley today. As our council understands, Bill is under the weather, but on the mend.
On the mend, we hope so.
Okay, thanks for being here. I'm sure he'll be back on speak shortly. We'll move right into official business for the day. Resolution 1258 requesting City Council set the electric and gas tax equivalent payments for fiscal year 2012 and provide for the allocation and distribution of such payments.
Well said, Mr. Chair. I'll recognize Mark Walker to go over those tax equivalent payments.
Okay.
There's a switch on the side.
Somebody turned it off. Commissioners, as you will probably recall, each year KUB makes, in lieu of tax payments or tax equivalent payments, to the taxing jurisdictions in which its utility systems are located. And we make payments for all four systems: electric, gas, water, and wastewater. Water and wastewater payments are governed by the city charter, and the setting of the amounts and the paying of the amounts are consistent with the terms of the charter for water and wastewater. Electric and gas tax equivalents, however, are governed by state law, and state law sets the basis for the calculation and for the distribution of those payments. The state law also requires that the municipality's governing body, City Council, adopt a resolution each year that sets those amounts and provides for their distribution. And Resolution 1258, which is before the board for your consideration today, deals only with electric and gas tax equivalents and helps fulfill that statutory requirement. And although Resolution 1258 only deals with electric and gas tax equivalents, my presentation today, at least the majority of it, will focus on tax equivalents from a total perspective. So many of the charts I'll show you have water and wastewater incorporated in them as well. Then at the very end, we'll focus just on Resolution 1258 specifically. But for 2012, our total tax equivalent payments, $21,252,000. And that includes $16,030,000 for electric and gas payments combined, and $5,222,000 for water and wastewater payments combined. And at the $21,252,000, that represents an increase of $783,000, or about 4% over last year's payments. The reason for the increase is, as you would probably expect, for all four of our systems, the book value of our utility system infrastructure assets are higher. As we make capital investments into each of our utility systems, that book value typically grows each year, and that's the primary reason for the increase. The electric and gas payments will be made to the City of Knoxville, Knox County, and other taxing jurisdictions in which those two systems are located, and those payments will be made on June 30th of this year, consistent with state law. The water and wastewater payments are only made to the City of Knoxville, and those payments will be made on February 29th, the last business day of February, which is consistent with the city charter. So that's just a high-level overview. Any questions on? Okay. Commissioners, this next chart takes the 2012 total payments, the $21,252,000, and shows you the breakdown by taxing jurisdiction. And I'll just focus really on the City of Knoxville and Knox County on this chart, but if you have any other questions, feel free to speak up. For the City of Knoxville, the total payment for 2012 is $13,453,000. That represents approximately 63% of the total payment for the year. And at that level, it also represents an increase of $554,000, or about 4% over what we paid the city last year. And in context of total city revenue, it represents about 6%. For the county, we'll pay $7,185,000, and that's just electric and gas. And that represents about 34% of total tax equivalents for the year. And you can see that's an increase of about 216,000 over last year, and that's about 3% growth on that. And in context of total county revenue, that $7,185,000 represents approximately 3% of total county revenue. And then you can see the list of other taxing jurisdictions. Sevier County on down, and that's again is mostly for electric payments. We do have some gas plant that's located in Loudoun County and a little bit that's also in Anderson County. So there's some gas and electric for both of those. If you're looking specifically at Resolution 1258, again, which applies to only electric and tax, these are the amounts that you would see for each of these taxing jurisdictions. The city is presented on this chart also has the water and wastewater. If you back that out, then you would have the $8,231,000 that would be for the city in Resolution 1258. Any questions? Real quickly, just looking at how tax equivalents have grown over time, and this is from a taxing jurisdiction perspective. The top line, I guess it's the light blue line, you can see, and this is a period of time of 10 years, 2003, fiscal year 03 through fiscal year 2012. And if you go back to 2003, our total payment that year was $16.8 million. You can see it has grown to the $21.3 million, and that's annualized growth of 2.6% over that period of time. For the city of Knoxville, which is represented by the red line, in 2003, $9.8 million paid to the city. This year, the $13.5 million, and that's annualized growth of 3.6% over that same period of time. And then you see Knox County, which is represented by the dark blue line, approximately 1% growth over that period of time. You might ask, why the distinction between the city and county? Why does the city have a larger growth rate? Two reasons. Over this period of time, Knox County has not had a property tax increase, and the city has had one. That's one reason. The bigger reason, though, is our total tax equivalent growth has been driven more so by water and wastewater over that period of time. And water and wastewater payments are only paid to the city. So that is the primary reason you see that higher growth rate for the city as opposed to Knox County.
Mark?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's a state law that the city is setting these rates. And is it
State law provides the basis for how they're calculated and how they're to be distributed.
okay?
What state law also requires, though, is that the municipal city council has to adopt a resolution that sets these amounts. So the city can't increase the amounts, and they can't change the allocation of the amounts. Theoretically, what they could do is lower it. Because what we pay is the maximum permitted by law. And I don't think there's much chance that that's so it's primarily a formality that the statutory requirement that the governing body adopt a resolution that has this information in it. And Resolution 1258 specifically, again, as you see from the resolution, it has the specific amounts for electric and gas. It has it by taxing jurisdiction. All of that is in accordance and calculated by state law. It is also, as I pointed out, the maximum amount that can be paid under the law for electric and gas tax equivalents. And the total amount is $16,030,000 approximately. And also, there is a requirement in the statute that the two governing bodies, the KUB Board and City Council, have a consultation regarding these payments. And by resolution, that statutory requirement is fulfilled by you adopting this resolution today and us delivering it to City Council for their consideration. That satisfies that requirement. That's an overview of the payments for this year. I'll be happy to answer any other questions you might have.
I move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion for a second. Motion and second. This will be a first and final reading. Any public comment on this resolution? Seeing none, I'll ask Mr. Hayes to call
Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Canal. Commissioner Rising.
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Resolution 1258 is approved on first and final reading, Commissioner.
All right, thank you. Resolution 1259, authorizing participation in the Tennessee Valley Authority expanded green power switch program.
Commissioners, it's hard for me to admit this, but 12 years ago, seems like just yesterday, TVA created the Green Power Switch program. And KUB has been an advocate for that program, and more importantly, our customers have wanted to support that program. So we have been one of the very successful distributors using the Green Power Switch program. TVA has come up with some enhancements to the program, primarily from customer input. So I'll recognize Eddie Black to summarize those for you, and this will require board action.
Commissioners, as Mr. Oaks said, KUB's been involved in this program for about a dozen years now. Just as a reminder, this program funds electric power generation from renewable sources, such as solar, wind, and methane from landfill gas. And just to remind everyone how it works, KUB customers are offered the opportunity to purchase 150 kilowatt hour blocks of green power at a cost of $4 per month. Now, this has been an extremely popular program at KUB ever since its inception, actually. As a matter of fact, of the 116 TVA distributors that participate in this program, KUB is traditionally in first place as far as the number of blocks sold per year. Now, despite KUB's good numbers, though, TVA is reporting that valley-wide there's been a decline in participation in the program for the last few years, probably due to the economy. So as a result, they've brainstormed to find some additional elements that they can bring into the program to hopefully stimulate some renewed interest in green power. One of the things that they're not changing is that standard block that we talked about earlier. That will still be offered at $4 per month. One of the things that they have proposed is a block of pure solar green power that will be available at a cost of $8 per month. They've done some market research that indicates that there's a niche of customers out there that will be willing to pay a premium price for a pure solar product. Of course, the only way to know for sure is to roll it out and see who responds. So this is one of the things they're proposing. The other is a renewable energy credit, and this will be 1 megawatt hour that will be available for $3 with the stipulation that the customer has to purchase a minimum of $2,000 per year. Now, obviously, this is geared towards the large commercial and institutional customer who may have some type of sustainability goal and is purchasing credits on the market. And so this will be available for them. And primarily the goal of this is to support the development of new renewable energy sources in the southeastern states. KUB has one customer, one institutional customer that's already expressed a lot of interest in this REC program. It's very consistent. This program is consistent with KUB's focus on the environment. As you know, one of our corporate objectives is to be environmentally responsible, and TVA will continue to compensate KUB for the cost of setting up the billing arrangements for participants in this program. Since the program started, they've paid us $4 per standard block. They'll also pay us $4 for the pure solar customers, and also any customer who wants to sign up for the REC program will get a credit of $500 for them. TVA is classifying this as a pilot program. This is something they want to try for at least the next year and see what the response is to this. And KUB is one of a handful of distributors that they've asked to participate in this program. When we get the final marketing materials from TVA, we will convert that to the KUB format and then roll that out through our standard communication channels. This includes our website and also the printed promotional materials that we can take out to the public as we go to speak at civic clubs, neighborhood groups, schools, this type of thing. We'll also be asking our key account representatives to make sure that our large commercial and institutional customers are aware of the REC program. So in summary, Resolution 1259 approves KUB's participation in TVA's expanded Green Power Switch program and authorizes our President and CEO to sign an agreement to that effect. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about the program.
Can
Can you tell us what progress TDA's made towards photovoltaic, solar power, and wind turbines and the landfill gases?
I don't have that information as far as any.
Are we making progress, or are they like, is there something out there?
Well, one of the things that they wanted to do with this renewable energy credit program is they have purchased a lot of credits primarily from low impact hydro in the southeastern states. So that's what their focus has been on, to mainly compete with the western states, where these renewable energy credits are a little less expensive due to the preponderance of hydro that they have in the western states. And so that's where a lot of their focus has been. The initial REC product that they're offering is actually 99% of the low impact hydro and just 1% solar. But they do continue to make progress, but I don't have the exact statistics on that.
In other words, they think it's worthwhile, and obviously they're doing this.
Yes,
Expanding.
yes, that goes back to the market research. I mean, on a residential level, on an individual level, they see that there's a lot of interest that's been expressed through surveys and focus groups and this type of thing from the customer base here on solar, yes.
You know, one of my continued concerns with these programs at PBA is the actual cost for us to do the accounting. And you said we made $4 when tell me how that works, Eddie.
It's per customer.
At one time, $4 is what we get.
Yes, and that's just to set up the billing arrangement, you know, to bill them on a monthly basis for that.
And can we do that for $4?
Yes, we can.
So basically, we're putting it in the system, and it's just rolling out every month?
Yes.
I would tell you when we initially did it, there was more administrative and programming set up, but now that it's set up, it's just enter a code to apply it to individual customers.
And then with the $500, it's going to be the same, pretty much the same drill.
It is, and that's basically a 12th of the annual fee. I think that's the basis of what they came up with right now.
So if I was a customer who wanted to go green, what would be probably the main incentive for me to switch to green, other than I'm an environmentally sound person?
The incentive?
Yeah.
And
that's
I think
it.
that's for that
So there's
reason.
nothing else. There's nothing else. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. There's nothing else. Okay.
It's not economic.
I'm gonna ask the question this way, this is millions of dollars for PBA, I assume. And are they auditing themselves, or are there environmental groups that are making sure they're using this millions of dollars the right way?
That they are required, yes, to do that, yes.
When they initially created it, there was some skepticism that the customer's money would actually go to that product. So they set up an auditing process to ensure that all that money went in to buy renewable power.
That was basically my question. You just asked if there might be is it working?
And we haven't lost participation the last few years. You said we did very well with it.
Yes, ours continued to be fairly level, or actually it's grown a little bit over the last 5 years.
Any other questions? We need a motion?
Second.
A motion and a second for resolution 1259. Any comment or question? Okay, well, we'll go to the roll call vote, Mr. Hayes.
Commissioner Anderson? Commissioner Canal? Commissioner Rising? Commissioner Robinson? Commissioner Simmons? Commissioner Thompson? Commissioner Williams? Resolution 1259 is approved on first and final reading, Commissioners.
Thank you very much.